Dear Santa, I hope that you are well. Okay. Enough chit chat. What I want for Christmas is Hey, what's up, legends? And hope all you are doing really well at home. Welcome to the whole STABILO family here in this YouTube chat. I'm super excited to announce that this is probably the very first YouTube live stream that STABILO is doing, and I'm so excited that I get to be a part of this, especially for a great occasion where we are going to do some Christmas cards all together. Now, my name is Stefan Kunz. I'm a hand lettering artist from Zurich, and so if you do not know me, I do a lot of word drawing, and I've been working with STABILO for a very long time. I think one of the very first brands that I got to work with is STABILO. So what we're going to do in this live stream is we are going to look at how to create a Christmas card that you can send to your loved ones, especially during this season where you might not be able to get in touch with them or just be with them, but you can always send a card that shares how much you love them and also show how much you care for them because you created something yourself and your own. Now, here is what we're going through. I'm gonna share what we need for this stream and what you can use for. Maybe right now at home you don't have these same tools, and that's totally fine, but you can find all of the links to these tools, all of these products that we're using here in the description below, or you can just ask in the chat what I'm using right now, because we got people from STABILO, from the company, who exactly know what we're using. So I am also then going to go through step by step all the things that you need to do to create these cards yourself. And so until that point, I'm excited to do that with you today. So if you're ready, let's jump in and let's look at what we'll need. So first up, what we'll need is, of course, a card. Then something else we need is here STABILO pens, and I'm using the STABILO metallic pens. They come in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different colors, from purple over to the greens, to blue, to gold, everything you need, especially the silver, the gold, and all of these colors that are really Christmas looking like. Then a pencil, which is great to sketch, a eraser that you can erase those guiding sketch lines, and then of course some postcards that you can use, or like cards that you can use to send. Here I'm using a foldable card. This is a A5 sized card, so it's basically a normal sheet of paper that you can then fold in two, and so on. We're also going to be using here some brush pens. So these are the Pen 68 brush pens that you can also use for, especially when it's not dark but it's bright colored. And so you can see there are a lot of different things that you can use. So again, just to summarize that, so it's a pencil, a eraser, then the metallics or the brush pens that you have at your disposal, and then the Christmas cards, and just some blank piece of paper where you can sketch your ideas on, just to create something really, really nice. So how do we do this? So how do we get started with creating something just like that? So my plan is usually very simple. Number one, we're just gonna start out by sketching it out. So we're gonna plan it, and we're gonna plan that on paper. Then we're going to use the actual card, and we're gonna sketch it out with a pencil first to create the lines, and then finally trace it with the actual colors so that we can really fill it out, because you don't want to make a mistake, especially once you're applying the right colors onto it, so you have an idea of what you want to do. So this really looks a little bit the way we are going to create it. So for this exercise here, I'm going to be using actually the same design all the time. So here I'm going to use the same Christmas And we're not so much focusing on the lettering, but mostly on how you can decorate it, because there are multiple ways to decorate a card and not just one way. So you can create actually one card and then create different versions of them. So here you can see now me on the screen next to you. So I'm always ready to share what we are doing. So let's get started. So very first one is we're gonna pick a card, this A5 size card. And what I'm using often enough is actually I'm gonna use some these special tape here, and it looks a little bit weird if I do that live on the camera, but it actually helps a lot to just fix your card while you're drawing so it doesn't slip away, and it just looks like it's easier to work with that instead of having your card slip away. Especially for me, when I'm doing a live stream, I don't want it to just veer off into the wrong direction. So making sure that you open it in the right direction, the way you would read a book, that's the easiest way to do it. And then you can just hold it down, set it up, you're all set, you're all good. So now what we're doing is first we're gonna take up the sheet of paper. Now I'm using this sheet of paper and I'm gonna be folding this in half as well, because that way I have the same size of the paper. So the first thing that we're doing is we're gonna write Christmas out on here. So I'm just gonna see where it should actually be. And for that, I'm gonna draw like 2 rectangles on top of each other. So actually with a little bit of space in between. So here you can see there's even an eraser here on the top, which is pretty awesome. I actually love these pens where you can have the eraser. So I'm gonna start off with Christmas first. So I'm gonna start with the bottom here, and I'm gonna write it all in cursive. So I'm using the X height of this one to just use it as a guide where I can write on, and trying to space it out all equally. Now, Christmas, like that. So that looks around right. Then I have the crossbar here, and then I'll add like a star down here, which is also really nice to do. Then finally, I'm gonna add the Mary, just so here that's where I wanna start. And so I reverse the stroke. Instead of going this way and then trying to find the right place, I'm reversing the stroke. And it's a capital M, the E that comes right here. And again, trying to follow the same size. And that way, as you can see, I've had some practice, and that's fine just like that. Now, I might just do a little bit of tweaking, saying I want to make the C maybe a little bit larger, so I might go a little bit lower. And while you're doing that with a pencil, that's totally fine. And I'm even going to do that same with the S here, and like do a bow that goes around and out. So here we have the Merry and the Christmas, and I know pretty much where it has to go now. And now we're planning around already how we want to make the card look. So on paper, it's always easier than to do it on the final card. One thing that I love to do is always create a shape. So you can create like a, let's see, if I turn this paper around, you can see. So either I create a diamond shape or a round shape, maybe even a Christmas tree shape. But I kind of like the round shape because we can kind of create like a Christmas ornament, if you know kind of like where I'm going here. So let's return to the sketch here, and what I'm going to do is I'm using my hand here, and if you feel it, you see how like on the paper there's a place where you cannot move with your hand any further, and then I try to place my hand at the middle of the page, at the center of the page, and then trying with, like I feel right the paper like gliding right through here, so I know kind of like where the middle is, and that can help me to actually draw a pretty straight line down. And the same thing goes around here, so that's where the center is, and then I can pretty much create a circle. And if you don't have these tools, or if this is a little bit too complicated, don't worry too much about it. You can also just use your pencil here and then kind of like see like, all right, where the logo is, that's the center, and then I kind of can create like a circle around. And so that kind of like gives you also an idea of how your circle should look like. Freehand is always something I like to do. And so now that I have the circle around, I know that I might actually need to place everything a little bit lower because I want to center the circle a little bit more below. So what that means is I'm just gonna push the whole circle a tiny little bit further down, just like that. And so I have more space now down here, and I can now kind of like sketch out, like, let's see if I want to add 3 Christmas trees on this one at the bottom. So I'm trying to fill out the whole space to really utilize everything that we have. So unfortunately, you guys can probably not see as much right now because I'm drawing lightly. And that's kind of what you want to do when you are drawing with a pencil. And I'm always thinking of all the different types of ornaments that I can use. For example, I can use a Christmas, like these candy bars. So if you want to know and learn how to draw all of these different shapes that you can use for a Christmas card, you can actually check out my YouTube video on Christmas doodles that I share a lot about, and where you can find out all of these different tools on how to draw these sugar canes here and how to create like this beautiful effect. Then we can also create some snowflakes here and there. I'm also adding maybe some mistletoe elements here. For example, these around there. And so right now what we're doing is a lot of planning. We're planning where we're adding all these elements, all these different ideas. Here, for example, I'm gonna add a snowflake, and then trying to add all these different elements and trying to keep them in that circle, which is also really important because you want to create the sense of the circle being there, even though there is no actual circle there, because you're not going to draw the outlines unless you want to, which is also totally fine. But I feel like I'm ready to go ahead with what I have right here, and I'll figure out a way on how to fill out the rest. So now that we have the sketch, we can put the sketch on the side and we can try to recreate this whole drawing. So again, I'm starting out here, and I'm sorry that you're not going to see a lot of my sketching, because the point of the sketching on the card itself is that you are not actually drawing too hard, pressing too hard on it and creating the drawing. So I'm starting off with the C here again at the bottom, trying the H, the top of the H. I might actually be a little bit too big right now. So you see, I can already tell that I've started drawing everything here a little bit too large. So I'm just erasing most of it, reducing the size of these boxes because I probably went just a tiny little bit too big. I'm just going at it again, reducing a little bit the spacing between, just to create more space for the rest of the word, just like that. And then finally, over here, I'm going to add the Mary. Well, actually, that is a little bit too far out. The Mary should start here, and we can increase the size here. And then finish that. I like that. All right, so in the comments below, or in the chat on the side, let me know which color I should start with. I'm actually really free to use any color of the metallics that I want to. So we got all of these different ones here. Actually, we got even more in this selection here. So I'm gonna pick out all the ones, and you guys can choose and decide which one I want to go. So from the top, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got 8 different colors. Let me know in the comments, in the live chat, which color I should pick to start off and draw the Merry Christmas in. Then while I'm waiting on the answers that you guys provide, I'm going to draw the circle as best as I can. It's not going to be perfect. You know what? We can even change the shape of the Christmas ball. Just like that. All right, I see green, pink, use green, gold, 2 on green. We have got gold 3 times, 4 times. I think gold is a winner. So gold, and that one is actually special. I always like to test them out first and to see which one is the actual gold. So over here, I'm going to test it out, and that is gold. The other one is more like copper, so it's darker. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm using gold for this one. So first off, we're using gold, 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 gold. Yes, Sarai, Victor, Grace, and Telsey Splitter is all on gold. We got also Peas and Arts and some others here going for gold. All right, I'm going to start right at the top here, and now you finally get to see where I start. So the beautiful thing about these pens are that as you draw, they will actually grow and become brighter. And so I'm actually making them a little bit larger, and I'm making this all like a monoline. So monoline meaning like the thickness of the line is pretty much all the same. And this is absolutely satisfying for me here on my side. And I'm just gonna go ahead and then draw around. And keep on filling in those colors. And that's where you really take your time. Enjoy the process, because that is the satisfying part where you can really just enjoy drawing, doing, seeing how the colors, like, they start to brighten up as you go. And an easy way is really to start just drawing out the full letters first. You can also just do that, and then combine everything, because we've sketched it out, so we just know exactly what we're doing. And that is a beautiful part, like that. So now I'm trying to recreate the same thickness everywhere, so I'm going to go through that all again. Here you see I'm just going a little bit closer, drawing in, trying not to leave out any space in the filling out. That's where I usually miss out a lot of details, is that I'm not taking enough time to really just make it beautiful, because I like to rush things, and I'm usually someone who's lazy and who wishes that he never had to fill out something. But you guys are the ones that really should take the time, or probably you guys are probably just a lot more like, you like to take your time with things, and you like to enjoy the process, enjoy the filling out part way more than I do. So here we're filling out all the beautiful parts, and it's just satisfying to watch this whole thing come to be and being filled out. So here's a good question for you guys. While I'm drawing this, I need to kind of keep you guys entertained, or I don't have to, I want to. So here's a question for you. What would you write on your Christmas card? And like, would it say Merry Christmas? Would it be something funny? Like, what is something that you would like to send your loved ones this Christmas if you had the chance? So write that down in the comments, in the chat, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. Like, just take the time to write that out. And I'm filling it out over here. Just taking the time, the patience, to really enjoy how this is coming to life, coming to be. And I know that we've sketched it out first, and you might be inclined to really follow the sketch lines like religiously, but really just play around with it. Like, if you feel like, hey, you know what, I want to go out a tiny little bit more, do it. Don't be stuck to what you've created, but really be flexible at all times to kind of improve upon, to try out new things, and this is where the fun really begins. And so we've chosen a black card especially because the gold, the metallic pens really shine well on these black cards. And I'm adding here the dot of the eye. Something I tend to miss on most of my project is a dot on the eye. And I'm not a perfectionist, which is why I tend to miss them. But we're not missing them on here on a Stabilo live stream, especially not if this is the first one, because we want to make sure that we're having a fun time and that we're doing this and enjoying ourselves and having just a pleasant Christmas time. So that looks fun. So if you guys got any questions about those pens, ask away in the live chat, because we got a whole team in the background responding to your messages. They are ready to help you out and to give you some answers and some feedback, and that way you guys know all there is to know about the live chat. And my computers keep going off and I'm not seeing your comments, but I'm looking at your comments. There we go. That's the Merry Christmas. Now, just to make sure, we'll check out the whole lettering to see that we didn't miss anything, and I feel like we're good on that part, on that end. And now I'm just gonna see what we can improve on. I'm always this kind of guy that wants to make sure that we are always trying our best, and so I feel like we could add like an outline in here, so kind of like a inline shadow drop line that just goes around, kind of like this here. So I'm feeling like what happens if we added that? Ooh, it looks really cool. All right. Now it would be too late to stop anyway, so might as well just go for it and just try it out. See what happens. See, this is the beauty of the thing, is you can use all these different pens, all these different colors, and just like make them work really, really well. And the cool thing now as well is you guys can copy the exact same card and do it at home, because now you can see me do it, and then you guys can do it, and then I can't wait to see all of what you guys are creating around this holiday topic, around Christmas, and like even New Year. That's a card that I created in the New Year's, and which is also really, really cool. So again, there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do. And the best part is when you don't have to do it alone. You get company, you get to do it with other awesome people. So either watch it here on the live stream, rewatch it when you're like, whenever you need to create something, rewatch this live stream. When you're feeling about Christmas stuff and things that you want to do, just turn on the live stream. Let this play in the background as you're drawing. Actually, that really helped me today. I watched a YouTuber working and grinding, and that actually motivated me to do some of my own grinding. Like grinding in the sense of working, hustling, doing something. So we got a lot of these Christmas things going on, and now let's see what we can fill it out with. So I'm thinking here, these reds are beautiful to start with. So I'm not gonna try to actually like keep those colors intact. I'm just gonna play around with like a few colors. So let's see where I'm gonna start. I'm going to start here with just a tiny little shape. And I'm gonna fill out these little places here and just adding a couple of diamond shapes, just to give me some space around here as well. And what else? We then can, for example, again, we had the mistletoe. So starting out with these different points here. If you feel like that is a little bit too complicated to draw, just draw one point here, one point straight line, then you go straight down and you do basically this shape, and you come back here, and then you can just combine them by doing one of these dots here and there, and then we're just going to add some I don't know what they're called, but I feel like they should be called cranberries. And what can we add as well? We can add a star here. We can add a diamond shape here. We're not gonna add just too much yet. We're just gonna play cool here. I'm just gonna add a snowflake. So a cool way to do a snowflake is then to add like all these crystals that are outgrowing in here. You can see always should look like it's like playing around here. Awesome. And so on. And what else can we add? We can add these different shapes, maybe here. Again, I was trying to think of this Christmas thing. So here, maybe adding some candy shape looking thing, just like that. And what about a Christmas tree? So one way of doing a Christmas tree, if you want, you can also just use your pencil. So create a straight line down, a triangle here, and then we're adding these 3 Christmas trees again around. So now I can just beautiful Christmas trees all around. We might add some stars later on, but for now I like the way it is. Then I had the idea of adding these, again, Christmas sugar cane cones, canes. You would think that I would remember all these words, like I looked them up just 2 days ago after the stream that I did. Should have looked them up before I did the stream, but I have already forgotten all of them in just like a matter of minutes, and couldn't even think of them. Oh, let's add a star. You know what? I'm just gonna add a star down here. And on the other side, I like to do always things mirrored, so keeping things mirrored, meaning just more like having a symmetry line inside. And then maybe also having just a little bit of this pine tree or Christmas tree piece here. And here I'm just going to change the direction like that. And then we might have some elements here. What about here? So here we're going to add another star. That is a fun little practice to do. So you can see it's a lot of small drawings that you do here and there, everywhere, and you're trying to fill out the space. So I know that here there's something missing down here on this side, and I'm not even sure what I could add in here. Maybe another star. Maybe just a circle, and so it's creating the illusion of the shape that I want to get. And then, for example, on this side here, might do another one of these mistletoe elements, and maybe just get that down here. That looks a little bit weird, but you won't probably not see that unless somebody tells you, and I just did, so my bad. And then, what about another one of these? So you can see it fills out really, really nicely and creates this nice little shape. Maybe here we're missing a couple of items and pieces, and maybe there's some shapes that I need to add in here just to complete it. And you can always use a different color on top of your colors. So if you want to highlight some other elements, you can just reuse another color. And that's what I love about these pens here, is how opaque they really are. So you can easily draw on top of another color and you would not see the color below it. And you can do that as many times as you want. And so that creates a nice effect as well. So even though I've used just one color, I can easily go on top of it, draw some elements, and see all of these parts going on top, just like that. That is beautiful. And again, here I can draw some Christmas bulbs, light bulbs, or ornaments on the tree. Change the color of the star. Choose something more fitting. And the reason why you'd want to play around with different colors is just to create some additional depth. And now here comes this little part that I love, and that is kind of the reflection that we're going to add to this part that hangs up the tree here. So I'm drawing that down. And now you can see what it actually is. And you got beautiful written Christmas tree inside. And again, you can go all the way out. And the more Christmas cards you're drawing, the more you can learn and experiment. For example, I could add some glowing lights. So I usually start into the corner, like from the center out to the corner, and the further I go, the more I press hard, so that creates like this difference in shape. And sometimes I like to add just some little dots on top, not make them all the same length, just trying to create something beautiful here. Now I might have just used too much space, and so here it's pretty hard to go back, and that's totally fine. You do not always have to go back, it works perfectly fine. But if you do multiple Christmas cards, you can experiment, do the same thing over again. Don't have to redo the whole Merry Christmas in one way and then the other, but you can just redo it in a different way. So here we have created a brand new Christmas card, and you can see already, so it's hard to kind of let go, but we already have like two versions, pretty much the same Merry Christmas, a little bit drawn differently, but you can see already there's a lot of different ways you can do that. And so the last way that we're going to plan and we're going to experiment with is to do it on white paper. So here I have this white Christmas card, and on this one we're going to use, I'm just going to get back the beautiful blue tack, which is helping me to fix this card on the background so it doesn't really budge or move or do anything about it. And so I'm just gonna put that back on here. And Victor Medina is asking how many metallic colors are able or are there probably. There are 8 different ones, so you get this pack with 8 different Pen 68 metallics, and Pen 68 is just the brand of those metallic ones. So I've already here done a little sketch, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the red, or actually I'm just going to use the light red first. So I'm just going to draw on here, and I'm using the pressure sensitivity of the beautiful brush pens. And so here you go, you can just thick, down, up is always light, And so you can see already one different style coming together here. And I'm just combining these elements like that. And then we're doing the Christmas. So up, thin, down, thick, combining that up, connecting it, here, down here, just, it's a little bit of cheating that's going on, but not too much cheating because I wouldn't cheat that much. And you see, it's beautiful just to sketch it out first and then really utilize the drawing tools, the pressure sensitivity of the brush, and you can see how beautiful that brush actually makes it look. And so here I'm just adding the eye, and I'm still adding that star because I love that star. And so here we go. We have our first version with the brush pen on a bright one. And so now I can change the color scheme, so I can do that in the other way, the other direction. And so I had prepared something that I wanted to grab between first, just to see, because I got one ready, one idea that I already got prepared. And so let me check. Yeah. So one that is easy, it's kind of like having some Christmas ball trees hanging down, or you can just create, watch out, I also have some red here, which is a little bit annoying, but I can create something, for example, now something dark red first. So I'm going to use those mistletoes, and I might actually sketch out first the mistletoes that are going out here. Again, this 6-point principle, we're just adding 1, 2, 3, and then 1 at the bottom. So that helps you to really easily recreate some of these principles. Then I might add a bow at the bottom here. And then what about like something, I'm still trying to think of this round shape, which is really cool. So I might actually add those trees at the top here. Why not add them at the top? Adding some more here and here. And then what about either having some mountains going down, or we could have some snowflakes. That could also be really nice. So maybe something that is also around here. But I like the green, so I'm just gonna leave it because I don't have an idea right now, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. And you see, you can really nicely combine all of these elements. And so I'm just gonna be coloring out the full mistletoe leaf, except for the inline inside. I'm just gonna leave that one blank. And you see, it's beautifully and easily to kind of fill out the whole part. And that's what is beautiful about these brush pens. You can see it's so much faster, easier, and works really, really well. For someone who's lazy, as I am, and trying to get a great result really fast, these pens are excellent. And why I love to use them, because I can fill out a lot of big surfaces really, really fast. So here we go, we got a mistletoe, and again, the principle is always the same. Kind of keep the symmetry line just at the center to kind of be able to really then connect these really well together. So here we have those Christmas trees. I'm gonna keep them really simple and so stylized. So that means I'm just gonna leave them as a triangle shape, put them together like that. And here you're just using, like, there's so many colors you could use, and I like to sometimes just reduce it to the max, just keep it simple, and even, why not, color them in like that. And then we have the bow down here, which I kind of like to do one way, maybe do the other way, the same way, and then because it's overlapping, so again, I teach the whole thing on my YouTube channel. You can find the whole video with how to draw Christmas stuff, and you can find a lot of these, how to draw like a bow, how to draw these mistletoes. So I go into detail how you can draw all of these elements and details, and I'm explaining how you can think about these shapes. I can use them, and as you can see right here, I'm just leaving open these in between these gaps, so it's really nice to see them, how that could be done and used. Now again, I said that I didn't know really what to put in between here, so I'm actually thinking, what about going back to the other example, is having those streams of light, so kind of like radiating outside of the center here, and do that all around. And you just go around the center and try to do them all here, and maybe even on this side. And then here, why not add like a star in between. As you can see, I have no idea what I'm doing, in the sense that I'm not planning this, I'm just going as is and trying to figure out where to put something. And then finally, if you still have those metallic pens, you can still go inside and then add some metallic, beautiful Christmas ornaments, decoration. If they're not standing out as you would want them to be, like you can use a different color. Doesn't actually really show as well as the others would, but still really nice way to add some decorative elements to your lettering. And as we're on it, we can still play around with it. So one of the ways I like to do it as well is just to maybe get some, like split up the Christmas here, go in with a darker red, and let's see if we can create the lettering even more interesting. So it's a little bit more tricky because I'm trying to really just get half of it. And while we're on that, I'm gonna pick up the other red again and just try to blend it really nicely in. And so that will create like a beautiful mix of colors in here. But you want to be like play around with it once on like a sketch paper first, before necessarily trying it on your final version. But here I'm not afraid to mess up because I got plenty of cards left. I got plenty of cards to do. This might go to your not so favorite friend, but still a friend, and still someone like suddenly your not so favorite friends can get a Christmas card, a personalized Christmas card from you, just because you were practicing your lettering, which is really cool. And so that's also something you can look at as like, never waste one, just use it to learn something new and to experiment, play around with something and see where it's going. And that is really fun to kind of like blend things together. It looks really, really cool. I kind of like where this is going, and you can really add like a lot of new depth to your lettering, to your drawings. And that's a really cool part of, drawing and playing around with the pens, with the tools that you have, because your tools can usually do so much more when you really try it out, when you really test it out and see like how it works and what happens when you do that. You see, there's a beautiful gradient right at the bottom of that. So we have done 3 different Christmas cards, so actually 2 different on the stream, but you can see the same lettering, same style of lettering in 3 different shapes and forms and sizes, as you can see now, probably better this way. So here you have it. You have one beautiful white one, then 2 others here on this side with a beautiful lettering, the beautiful Christmas lettering as well. And as I told you, start with sketching it out first. So you have a sketch, you sketching it out first on paper, then you map it out, you see what shape and size you want. Like we looked at the different shapes that you can use on your drawings, be it a triangle, like this diamond shape, the circle, the pinecone tree. Like there's so many different ways that you can fill it out, and then practice. Like take the same lettering, try it out in different ways, different sizes. You can see the Christmas, the Merry Christmas and the Merry Christmas here are in 2 different sizes, and it's totally okay to play around with that. And then even use it on white paper, like play around with the pen brushes, the pen 68 brushes, and there's so much that you can try, you can play around with. And so thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed that. Again, use the link in the description below to find out more about those products. Ask in the comments if you have some. And also just let me know in the comments below what you want to see us do next, what kind of videos you want to see on this channel, because STABILO is working on creating content for you and making it awesome, and how you can utilize their products in the best possible way. And so thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I can't wait to see you in a future video. So guys, see ya.